So the idea here is that we want in this course to make sure that you don't just learn little facts of a topic, and when you have given those back in an assessment, you're done. But we want you to apply your thinking. That means that we give you a problem to solve, like at work. We expect that you participate either in a group or individually in finding solutions, and that we then talk about those solutions. And the purpose is that we want to make sure that when you leave here, most of you in a year, some of you maybe a little less, that you are ready to go to work. And most of you are not attending an expensive school in a master's program to drive a taxi or to wash windows at the Z station, but you are ultimately going to go into junior level management roles and then work your way up. That expects that you don't just know about details, you know about what we want to achieve, what we need to reach, how we solve problems, how to lead others. And that's exactly what we will talk about. Now I know, and I have great appreciation and respect for the fact that some of you come from cultures where it is quite normal and quite required that you do not speak up quickly, that you do not speak loudly, that you do not jump in right away, but that you are respectful, that you are quiet, that you wait until you ask something, and only then will you participate. In New Zealand, if you want to stay here and get a job, that will not work. If you don't participate, if you don't jump in, thank you for joining us. People will think that you don't work here. They will think that you're the one who brings the pizza. They certainly don't think that you should get paid at the end of the month because they don't see you participate. So in this course, your parents will never know what you say. Your friends that are not in here will never know what you say. So you can say what you like. In a course that teaches management skills, we rarely are right or wrong. Thank you for joining us, sir. Can you be on time next time? Thank you. Hat can come off. We want to make sure that you participate in leading, in managing, in solving problems. So, sitting back and doing very little, you can do, but you won't learn much. Participating, interacting, coming up with an idea, it doesn't have to be a perfect one, but finding a solution, even if it doesn't work, is better than not trying. And in many countries, New Zealand is one of them, we expect participation. If I am your CEO and you come to work for me in the morning, I expect that you earn your salary every day, every hour, every minute. Thank you for joining us, ma'am. And if I see you hold back and not participate, then I'm worried. Am I getting my money's worth? Are they thinking? Are they thinking about the business? Are they contributing? So in this course, a large portion of the work is done by you participating. Most of you are on Facebook in the group. That's good. Thank you for joining early. And I gave an exercise yesterday, but only about 12 people out of 60 that are on there responded. If you worked for me, then today I would think you owe me money because you didn't do it. None of the things you have to do here require a lot of writing. Nothing in here requires that you are academic with citations or perfect English. New Zealand has 25% foreign-born people as its citizens. 25%. Think about that. All of America, every single American, would have to live in India for India to have the same 25% foreigners. Do you think that would work? No, the Indians are saying absolutely no way. You're right. It would be quite disruptive and it wouldn't work. So the idea is that when you speak in New Zealand, you can speak with an accent. You can speak with grammar issues. English is my second language, as it's for you, or for some of you, your third or fourth. So my English isn't perfect. And sometimes I make up words. Because between German and Russian and Mandarin and English, it kind of sounds good to me, but it makes no sense. So when you see some of those things happening, then do let me know, and we'll fix that. At the same time, I am perfectly happy if you write with an accent, speak with an accent, are somewhat softer and slower possibly. That's all fine, but you must show me that you think. And since I can't look into your head, you have to get something out. And that means you have to participate. You can do so in the Facebook group. That's quite anonymous, couple of posts. And you remember a long time ago, who of you had a Nokia phone at some point? The little brick. Lots of hands. And you know what you did is under the table in school, right? You were with your thumb, you were texting. And you were constantly texting. So you know that you can write short comments. And you know that you can respond to people. And that's all we're asking. This is not a course where you have to write perfect English. There will be no academic research. There will be no citations. Do you know what ABN is? Yes. APN, what is it?
It's formatting.
Formatting.
Yeah.
Do we care in this course about formatting? Say no. Good answer. So the point here is that I want you to do what you do at work. You contribute in your best way. Okay? There is no right way. There is no wrong way. The only thing that's bad is not participating. Then you don't get much out of it. You won't get your money back for this course, but you're wasting the time and effort. You also will waste the opportunity to get upskilled so that when you look for a job in New Zealand, you come across more outgoing, more assertive. What does assertive mean? Okay. First rule of business in this course, if you hear a word or a term that you don't know, instantly. And it's a good social thing because your neighbor is probably shy and you're helping her out. If I keep on going with a word that you don't know, you won't listen to the rest of the sentence because you're afraid you don't know what it means. And again, you don't get your money's worth. Assertive means strong, slightly aggressive, active, outgoing. It's the difference between, can I please have an ice cream? Or, I would really like an ice cream right now. The one is more assertive than the other. Okay? In New Zealand, being assertive is important. In many other countries, being assertive is important. And in some countries, many other countries you're from, assertive would be disrespectful. Assertive would be impolite. Assertive would be insulting. And I can appreciate that most of you have grown up having been told, don't do this. Here, if you want to stay in New Zealand, if you want to get the most out of your stay in New Zealand, you have to be outgoing. We have a couple of basic rules. You don't interfere with what other people do. You are on time, because if you're late, you interfere with all the other people and you take away time that they paid for. And that you contribute, so that everybody knows you are engaged, you're interested. As your manager, the last thing I want is a person who never comes up to me with any ideas, with any suggestions, with any feedback. If you just take what I tell you to do and you do it, you will think I'm great because I'm doing it. I'm seeing a person who is like a pillow. They never talk back. So I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know whether there's a better way that maybe you think you can do this, but you're not telling me. Maybe there is a reason why what I told you to do isn't really something you should do, because I don't know your job as well as you do. And so I want to hear back from staff. I want to hear back from managers in order to come up with the best way of doing things, not necessarily my way. So this will be a two-way street. We will make sure that I will feed some thoughts out. And I'll tell you in a minute how that works through the course. And then I want feedback from you. And I will try to get through the room And if I ask you, then you don't go and you sink slower, but you jump in right away and say, thank you for asking me. I am very glad that I have a chance to contribute. That buys you time. In the meantime, you can think. And then you come up with the answer. All right? But if you go, that's not good money. That's not good value. And that doesn't show me that you are switched on. Okay? We call that in English, the lights are on, but nobody's home. That's not a good thing. All right? So it is okay to speak. It is okay to speak with accent. It is okay to speak wrongly. I'll correct you, don't worry. In management, very few things are absolute. This is not mathematics where 2 and 2 is 4. In many cases in management, 2 and 2 is 3.9, and we have to work to get it up to 4. That's just how things go. So let's walk through how this works in general. We will talk about 4 different types of current business topics. And we selected for this course, this is a new course, only started last year, 4 different types: strategy, success and failure, sustainability, or governance, one of the 4. What is it, sustainability or governance?
Governance.
Governance, very good. And globality. Because those 4, when you think about it, cover pretty much every business, private or government. It has a lot of money attached, and we need money to live well and to earn good salaries so that you earn good money. And therefore, those 4 are quite important. We have in each week a different session. Altogether, we probably have 2 or 3 on success and failure, a few on strategy, a few on governance. And today we'll do a sample on governance because there was a great article in the news about governance yesterday. Anybody read the article about Disney?
Yes.
Yeah, good on you. What was the article about?
About
No hand enough.
about the changing CEO.
The CEO is what?
So the old CEO.
He's an old CEO.
Yeah.
Old in age or old in number of years?
The former CEO.
Okay, he is now a former CEO.
Yes.
How do you become a former CEO?
When you step down the position of the CEO
Okay.
and the new one.
Very good. So the CEO quit.
Yes.
And normally when a CEO quits, what does a company do? They look for a new one. That can take a while, can't it? What did Disney do? Do they have a new CEO?
Yes, they have.
Oh, look at that. So one guy steps down, the next guy steps up, life is good, everything's perfect, company goes on. Well done. Governance, part of governance is what we call succession planning. Succession planning means that we look at how people in lower roles can take on upper roles when those people leave. And a good company that spends good effort on governance, how we govern ourselves, how we operate ourselves, have good succession planning. So that's the article we're going to use today to talk about. In this course, you get no textbook. And the reason is that textbooks are usually published about 2 to 4 years ago. They are written 3 to 4 years before. So on average, the material in them is about 5 and more years old. You may as well talk to my grandmother. It's not good for current issues because what you get is something that is just old. And people will talk about Kodak. What happened to Kodak? You know Kodak?
Yeah.
Okay. What do they do?
Photo cameras.
Photo cameras. Okay. Are they big?
Yes.
No, they're dead. They were big and now they're dead. So how do you go from being very, very big to being totally dead?
You do innovation, there are new things which have come up.
You do innovation, but that normally keeps you alive, doesn't it?
No, but Kodak couldn't get up with the trends which were happening. So
Good. So there was a trend that happened. What was the trend in photography that started when you guys were in high school?
digital photography.
Digital. It's not, you remember when your parents came home from an event somewhere and then they took the film out of the camera and they brought it to a chemist? And then a week later you got the film back, which of course didn't help much because you'd go like, what do you want to see? And then they printed the pictures. You printed all 36 pictures. You only wanted 2. You threw the rest away. Very costly, very time consuming. And then came digital. like when you buy one CD track on Napster or something, or on Apple iTunes, rather than the whole CD, because you only want to pay for one. So that made perfect sense. Kodak said, never gonna work. Stupid. We make the best paper. We make the best cameras. We even have a word named after us, a Kodak moment. So they thought they owned the world. And the world said, bye-bye Kodak. And Kodak went broke. And in the last year, thank you for joining us, sir. Are you in the current issues course? Good. We start at 11. That's the right course for you, is it? Okay, let's stick to 11 next time. So the idea here is that you can ignore the market, but markets usually win.